KUAM News, winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Culture Club.
KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus Finish Line Express is now open at Cars Plus in Mighty. The state-of-the-art car wash is now open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
Senators have set the stage for an override vote on a medical campus transparency bill. I'm Nestor Lecanto. We'll have the full details coming right up.
Plus, a school bus driver arrested after crashing his bus into another car. Police say he was drunk while on his way to pick up students. Now Public Works is investigating.
Fears that the foster care system could fail another child. Senators demanding a joint oversight hearing to uncover how a foster child was placed with a man twice arrested for sexually assaulting a young boy. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with the story.
Hafidades and buenas noches. Bienvenido para KUAM News Primetime. Guahusinek Delgado.
Sa Guahusi Destiny Cruz, Cizas Maasi Puri Manyanyo Mizu Guini na programa.
Well, the stage is set for an override vote on a bill that calls for more transparency in the billion-dollar medical campus project.
The governor vetoed the measure, saying it's part of an attempt by opponents to obstruct construction at the controversial Eagles Field property.
Nestor Lecanto reports on Monday's March legislative session.
The vetoed bill, authored by Speaker Therese Terlahi, calls for greater transparency from the 21st Century Medical Campus Committee, which is in charge of the planning for the billion-dollar facility. The measure requires that the committee adhere to the open government law and adds new members, including representatives from impacted municipalities, the legislature, the Guam Medical Society, and the Guam Medical Association. But in her veto message, the governor wrote that the bill was not about transparency, but about control by what she called obstructionist politicians. Speaker Terlahi agrees it is about control and transparency. She says the administration is mistaken if it thinks it can control $1 billion of taxpayer money without any transparency.
I'm hoping this was a fluke of a letter that was sent, and that we don't have to see this kind of government anymore. It's misguided. It's an unreasonable response to this bill and should really only strengthen this body's resolve to hold this elected administration accountable and demand our people and medical professionals have a seat on the table.
And Senator Chris Barnett says it's very simple.
Do we or don't we want our government to adhere and comply with the open government law? Do we or don't we want to demand transparency?
But Senator Will Parkinson took on the governor's theme that the bill was a guise to somehow derail the medical campus project.
Our zeal by some members of this body to deny the governor a win is astounding. And there are factions within this body, an obstructionist faction, a social justice faction.
Personal privilege, Madam Speaker.
Please state your point of
Can we stick to the facts of the bill, arguments of the merits of the bill, and if we're going to do name calling in here, can we just take that outside, please? That is not in order at all.
In his opposition, Parkinson also referenced another vetoed bill, one that requires legislative approval for federal leases of 5 years or more. That measure would directly impact the ongoing lease for the medical campus land in Manila, which is for a term of 50 or more years. His motion to debate an override of the second bill was voted down. Nestor Lecanto, KUAM News.
Meanwhile, session resumes Tuesday morning.
Well, Republicans are more determined than ever to get to the bottom of a fraudulent document that was posted on social media about Senator Chris Duenas. The post alleges that Duenas was attempting to take back money away from teacher pay raises and use it instead for his school repair bill. An angry Duenas reacted to the post during last Tuesday's emergency legislative session, shortly after he was made aware of it.
This is a lie. This is a straight up lie.
This amendment has never been proffered, and I want every news media to report there's a damn liar either in this body or an evildoer outside of this body. And if I find out and I get information that anybody in this august body, this distinguished 37th Guam legislature, put this garbage out, they will be facing an ethics complaint post-haste. Thank you,
Duenas later identified Julian Jansen, the head of the Progressive Democrats, as someone who helped spread the post online. We spoke with Jansen, who said he didn't create the bogus amendment. He also said it was sent to him, but he couldn't remember who. He also declined to say whether it could have been from someone in the legislature. Meanwhile, Senator Tom Fisher suspects it could be someone from the inside. He's introduced a resolution to create a special investigatory committee with subpoena powers to investigate, quote, a potential attempt to corruptly and criminally influence legislative debate. He's calling for an emergency session to deal with the issue immediately. Republicans have also scheduled a press conference tomorrow to provide more details on what they know. In other news, fears that more foster children could see the same horrible fate. At least 2 senators are calling for an oversight hearing, hoping to get answers as to how a man arrested before on criminal sexual conduct charges was given the green light to be a foster parent.
As we reported, that man facing new charges in local court for allegedly molesting a boy. The Department of Public Health's Child Protective Services signed off to be placed in his care. Mitsuki Hirayama with the update.
Senators demanding accountability say the foster care system failed a young child. Republican Senators Tello Taitagui and Joanne Brown calling for a joint oversight hearing in a letter addressed to Health Committee Chair Speaker Therese Talahi and Public Safety Committee Chair Senator Chris Barnett.
The system failed, and we want to make sure that those that are in positions of authority are properly held responsible for it, because we don't want to see this happen again.
Senator Brown telling KUAM they want to know the process and procedures of screening foster parents.
Well, we certainly would like to know what happened. I mean, how do you have a situation where you have a vulnerable foster child that's put in the hands of someone that, you know, it's reported supposedly as recently as a few months ago may have been charged with a similar situation of sexual abuse of a child. I mean, that is very concerning.
In the joint letter, Brown and Taitagui also noting they spoke against a series of heavily debated bills passed in the 36th legislature meant to improve the availability of foster homes. They believe those bills favored speed over due diligence.
I think the most important thing at the end of the day is to make sure we know that these children are safe. And it was just very horrifying to hear that report that, you know, we ended up having a young child in our community that was further harmed by someone that the government is paying to take care of this child.
As KUAM reported, the Guam Attorney General is investigating how defendant Ryan Joshua Cruz was able to foster a child with prior sexual assault allegations against him dating back to 2018. Cruz now facing charges for allegedly molesting the foster child multiple times since being placed in his care in February. Prosecutors have until April 3rd to bring his case before a grand jury for a possible indictment. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
The Department of Public Health no doubt will be included should that oversight hearing move forward.
KUAM also reached out to Public Health to find out the status of the investigation, but officials declined to comment. A school bus driver is facing criminal charges after he was caught behind the wheel and apparently drunk. The driver only getting caught after his bus collided into another car.
Fortunately, no students were on board, but now leadership at the Department of Public Works are investigating after learning one of their own was placed under arrest.
He allegedly admitted to police he had been drinking from midnight up until he left for his morning shift as a school bus driver. Bus operator Roy Quintanilla is charged with vehicular negligence and driving while impaired.
Government employees, especially the drivers, should be careful on their driving. It's not good.
The community reacting to what happened early Friday morning along Route 17 in Barragata. Court documents stating Quintanilla got behind the wheel of an empty school bus, veered into the oncoming lane before colliding head-on with another car, sending that driver to the hospital. The driver badly injured and in need of surgery.
You have to be always careful, you know, what you're doing, where you're going, and just make sure that you don't drink and drive.
The responding Guam police officer recorded that Quintanilla appeared to be highly intoxicated, describing him as having bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and a strong odor of an intoxicating beverage, adding that he refused a standardized field sobriety test, allegedly telling the officer who placed him in handcuffs he had only 2 to 3 beers. Bus operations fall under the Guam Department of Public Works. Quintanilla was drug tested the day after the crash, but government officials have yet to release the results.
Those drivers, before when they come to work, they should be properly checked by those the one who takes care of them, and they should find out if they're drunk.
For now, DPW Director Vince Ariola tells KUAM, quote, "I'll wait for the complete investigation and facts surrounding the incident before deciding what specific course of action to take. Any action would be in line with applicable GovGuam statutes and rules." Officials have yet to confirm if Quintanilla will be placed under administrative leave as an internal investigation is underway. Quintanilla has been released from prison on a $5,000 bond. Well, 3 clients at the Department of Youth Affairs put authorities on alert after they walked out of the Mangilao facility this morning. The 3 walked out of DYA's cottage homes, Guam police officers locating 2 of the 3 clients by midday. Authorities still searching for that 3rd child. It happened earlier today. The trio walking out of the non-secured facility, which houses those court-ordered to stay there for things like truancy or breaking curfew. DYA Deputy Director Michael Weekly telling us, to a degree, the ability to walk out is there, as the juvenile justice reform requires their rooms to be left unsecured and gates unlocked. Still, he admits there could be added measures put in place.
If we're going to talk about adding more security, I'm not sure whether we would want to put it in more personnel or more added, I don't know how you say, levels of maybe going through 4 different gates, and by the time we see that.
As the search continues, DYA officials say the child who remains on the run poses no risk to public safety, adding the child's personal safety and well-being is a primary concern. KUAM News is now streaming on Peacock. Let's bring up that QR code right there for you to tag along with us, giving you more ways to watch all your favorite shows and get your local news content from anywhere from your news leader.
That's right, and it's live right now. But don't go away, we have more news in a moment. Keep it here to KUAM.
Watch KUAM TV 8, live on Peacock. Check out our live channel, NBC shows, live sports original programming, movies, plus so much more. Visit peacocktv.com/local or download the app and subscribe today.
The wait is over, Guam. The all-new state-of-the-art car wash is now open at Cars Plus. Introducing Finish Line Express, open 7 days a week. The all-new cashless drive-through car wash is also the largest car wash on island that can accommodate vehicles such as lifted Jeeps and full-size pickup trucks. Just roll up, pick a walk, roll through. Plus, power vacuums are available to clean the interior. Show your vehicle some love today at the all-new car wash at Cars Plus in Mighty. Open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week.
And there you have it, McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich. From the makers of the world's most stolen fries. The juicy chicken sandwich from the place that offers extra napkins for a reason. The tender chicken sandwich from the creators of a sandwich phenomenon. So you won't just be biting into a chicken sandwich. You'll be biting into McDonald's new crispy, juicy, tender chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
What you need to know from the Northern Marianas. Follow KUAM CNMI on Instagram for the latest regional headlines.
Welcome back to Primetime. The fate of the student loan forgiveness program under the Biden administration still hangs in the balance.
That's right. At our nation's capital, NMI delegate to Congress Gregorio Sablan throws his support behind a new repayment plan and the current pause on repayments as the COVID emergency ends in May.
Half of student loan borrowers had faced an employment or wage disruption in the year prior to the study. And so those are the people who were helped with their student loan payments through the pause.
With the pandemic emergency set to end in May, the pause on paying student loans could end too.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has yet to decide on the president's limited forgiveness plan for nearly 40 million borrowers. At our nation's capital, NMI Delegate Gregorio Sablan grilling the president of the Institute for College Access and Success about a new income-driven repayment plan which sets looser standards for borrowers to pay back within a shorter time period.
And streamlining the IDR program in general, that's very important, I think.
Advocates want to end the ballooning balances where people pay back more than what they initially borrowed. Sablan emphasized that the pause on loan repayments happened during the COVID emergency.
Unless you disagree that we provide disaster supplemental appropriations, this is a situation where it's the same thing. The Secretary had authority, he used it, it's a good program, including 15 time zones ahead of us.
The fate of national loan forgiveness still hangs in the balance. Tomas Manglonia, KUAM News, Saipan.
Thanks, Tomas. Also in the NMI, Yongdi Lee appearing in the district court up there. He pleaded not guilty to a federal grand jury indictment that accused him and his co-defendant, Bureau of Motor Vehicles, Juana Leon Guerrero, of conspiracy to unlawfully produce an identification document. Jury trial is set for May 23rd at 10 in the morning. Now, Lee, who is a citizen of China, spoke through a Korean interpreter and is represented by court-appointed counsel Janet King. He faces up to 15 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Chief Judge Ramona Manglonia noting that Lee has no lawful status and business license in the NMI. He had to turn in his passport and is not allowed to travel.
Well, 2 schools not making the grade in public health's latest inspection report. The Japanese school of KUAM becoming the most recent school to receive a D rating. Some violations include a lack of mesh for outside openings, letting flies and wasps into the classroom, one student even getting stung by a wasp. Other issues include high humidity due to doors left open and cleaning and chemical products not stored properly, in addition to students getting sick with a sore throat, diarrhea, and fever for more than 5 days.
Yikes, definitely causing health officials to go to that school. Meanwhile, at Simon Sanchez High School, it is also part of that report. We told you about that earlier. The school also getting a D grade. Both schools are required to be in full sanitary compliance by June 2024. However, should Bill 29 become law, public schools must be in compliance by the following school year.
And in other news, reinforcing its mission to reduce recidivism and substance use, the Judiciary's Juvenile Drug Treatment Court celebrated 10 graduates during its Silver Dollar graduation ceremony. Judiciary officials say the ceremony marks the completion of a comprehensive and judicially monitored program of drug treatment and rehabilitation services. The graduates' cases will now be dismissed and expunged. Juvenile Drug Treatment Court Judge Arthur Barcina says drug courts are built upon a unique partnership between the criminal justice system and the drug treatment community.
All right, gubernatorial, G-U-B-E-R-N-A-T-O-R-I-A-L, gubernatorial.
You got it. Well, that's what some of Guam's youngsters were up to over the weekend. Students competing for a chance to represent Guam in the National Spelling Bee.
Wow.
Well, in the nation's capital, I also have to add.
Right. Congratulations going out to 12-year-old Lance Sanchez. He's taking home the win right there. KUM's Julian Hernandez has the story.
I joined a spelling bee at my school out of boredom, and then I ended up accidentally winning that. And so I ended up coming here.
That was Mario Leon Guerrero, an 8th grader from Inarajan Middle School. He is one of the 63 elementary and middle school students from Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, and the Federate States of Micronesia who competed in the annual Scripps National Spelling Bee Regional Competition at the Hyatt Regency Guam Saturday. Prior to the regional competition, students were given a list of words that will be used. Students talked about the different ways they prepared for the bee.
On the spelling bee list that we had, I could recite them, and I didn't get any wrong when I was doing that. I may or may not have started studying this morning.
Price Elementary 5th grader Kyla Cruz, who has been in the spelling bee competition twice, studied for a whole month.
I was nervous and kind of excited. I used my words and I wrote all of them down, maybe 3 times a week.
According to Rotary Club of Guam consultant Gerald Wu, A third to a quarter of the students in the spelling bee travel to Guam from Saipan and the FSM.
The fact that they have to train and then come here is a big challenge, and they have to have the mindset for it. The good thing is spelling, not pronunciation. So as long as they hear the word properly, then they're good. Yes, it is, and well, for all of Guam, all of Micronesia, English is probably not the first language of most of the students. So it is a common challenge, but they handle it beautifully.
Lance Sanchez from the Science is Fun and Awesome Learning Academy Charter School took first place in the competition. The winning word, trochee, Trochee. Officials say Sanchez is the first student from a charter school to win this title. He will compete and represent Guam in the National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C. in May. Julianne Hernandez, KUAM News.
Wow, beautiful there.
Oh, I see what you did there.
You know. All right, well, now for a look at your world at home. Here's a gorgeous view from our Mike Villagomez of the sunrise over Ipan.
Ooh, just stunning. Plus, you can listen to more Chamorro music right now on Isla Digital Radio. Just click that QR code right there on your screen.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Vroom vroom! Welcome to KUAM Sports. Let's check in with our partners at Clutch Guam.
Here's the final score. Oh, a close game there between the FD Friars and the ND Royals, but good job to both teams, and congrats, FD.
Congrats, FD. Well, don't go away. We'll be right back.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Only Pizza Hut lets you surround your favorite pizza with greatness. The one and only stuffed crust pizza tempts your taste buds with melted cheese stuffed inside that amazing crust. And at just $18.99 with one topping, the stuffed crust pizza is truly irresistible. So grab your slice of pizza perfection with cheesy goodness baked right into the crust. The stuffed crust pizza, just $18.99 with one topping. Only at Pizza Hut, the island's best.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Now to the latest in upcoming events happening on our island.
Let's check in with our Jason Salas, who has today's News Bites.
Half a day, everybody. Jason Salas here, and here is what we have for you today on News Bites, where we scour the island telling you all the awesome stuff here on the island of Guam. This is News Bites on the hotspot. The Autism Community Together organization is hosting an annual 2K, 5K run walk for autism on Sunday, April 2nd at 4 p.m. Courses start and end at Chamorro Village in Aganya. Register in person March 27th through the 30th from 2 to 8 at Micronesia Mall Center Court. $15 per person or $50 for a group of 4. You can also register on race day for $20. On April the 1st, there is an art gallery that we want to tell you about, so please make sure to check out the art of Tara Sood. She's having an exhibit at the Lee's Art Gallery on the second floor of the Tuman Sands Plaza. Twirl is a visual treatise on dance and will feature paintings as well as drawings by this very, very talented artist. Our friends over at Westcare Pacific Islands have a bit that they want you to know about, because they are presenting the Here Comes the Fun Spring Camp for kids 11 to 14 years old from April 3 through the 7th. 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 in the afternoon at the Santa Rita Sumai Community Center. For more information, you want to go to westcarepacificislands.org/events. And finally, on the healthcare front, our friends over at the Seventh-day Adventist Clinic, shout out to our friends there, are holding a free seminar on inflammation on March 29th and 30th from 7 to 8 p.m. at the Hilton. Attendees will receive a free gift. That is what's happening on News Bites on the Hotspot. Check us out every day. We're streaming live on Peacock, YouTube, Facebook, KUM TV8. That's at 11 o'clock.
Thanks, Jace. Well, it's time for birthday wishes.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-out submitted on KUAM.com.
Happy birthday on March 27th to John Santos, who blows out 39 candles this year. We love you so very much, Daddy. Love your wife and kids. Jamie Andrew Indalecio, happiest birthday to my husband, Daddy, and the love of our lives. No words could express how much we love you, from your wife and daughters. Keisha Kitachai, happy birthday number 8, and we love you always. May you have a blessed and beautiful birthday from Mommy, Daddy, and the entire familia. Happiest birthday to our precious great-grandson, Rain, and I pray the good Lord will keep watching over you and protect you always. He will shower his blessings on you today and throughout the years. Our handsome Bubba gets all the love from Grammy, Papa Joe, and the entire family. And Kanan Arceo, happy blessed birthday to our precious one, a superstar grandson, deserves a celebration beyond compare. You shine in every way, and we're so proud of the amazing person you are. The sky's the limit for you today and always. We love you, handsome boy, from Grammy, Papa, Joe, and the entire family. And belated birthday wishes going out to Jaylee Pareto. Happy 18th birthday to the best big sister anyone could ask for, from Roman, Jacob, and the entire family. Joey Robigo, happy blessed birthday, Daddy. We love you and we're missing you every day. And Doris Cruz, happy birthday to our sister. Thank you for all you do for so many people. You're such a blessing to have in our lives. You deserve all the happiness in the world, and never forget it. From Rocco, Angel, Jade, and the entire family, and the entire Guam Department of Education.
Well, we close out the show with the Father Dueñas Memorial Song Fest held over the weekend, where class of 2023 took top honors.
That's right. Yesterday, it's in Mizu primetime show si Zeus Masi put in Nega Guahusinik Delgado.
Sa Guahusi Destiny Cruz, Nafan Safu Hamsuza Gosa Ipoini.
KUAM News Hotspot is brought to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Hello, 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 and hot today, everybody. I'm Jason Salas. We are KUAM, and we are coming to you live on YouTube, on Facebook, on KUM TV. You know the deal. And also, if you're watching us on Peacock right now, give us a shout out. We're on Peacock too. So for those of you that subscribe to Peacock, we are happy that you're giving us some of your time today on whatever screen you are streaming us. Screen? That's how that works. And you know what the deal is. We bring you awesome information, and we got a really good show showing you amazing things that are happening on the island today. So let's take a look at what we have in just a few moments. I'm going to chat with a student and a professor at the University of Guam talking about how they are using drone technology to marshal and literally shuttle very needed medical supplies to our brothers and sisters out throughout the Micronesia region. We'll also have details to upcoming events happening right here on the island with our latest episode of News Bites. And we are going to get you up to speed on what happened with that K-pop dance contest at GPO that was held over the weekend. We are going to show you some of the amazing performances that happened. Very, very entertaining all. But first, the UOG Professional Masters of Business Administration cohort. There are 9 of them in total. They are undertaking a class as part of their Capstone. Now remember, this is the class that basically combines all of the different skills that they've honed over the past year. Finance, management, marketing, critical thinking, problem solving, organizational structure, everything like that. And a Project Hover is a proof of concept project that will demonstrate the capability of using drone technology to bring much needed medical supplies to our friends over in Pohnpei. I have right now Hazel Estrelado, who is one of the soon to be newly minted master's students. Hazel and I have worked together before, so I know she's really, really excited to tell me about this. And then our friend Charlie Hermosa, who is the professor for the Capstone project. Guys, this is amazing.
Yeah. It is. Sorry,
go ahead.
No, it is. It is pretty exciting, you know. As far as everyone in our cohort, this is the first time we've done something like this, to take something this big off island and really show people how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And this is a practical application of how, because everybody says like, okay, drones, we can get like really, really cool shots, or you can get like selfies that have never before been possible and everything. But now you're actually using this almost as a form of like humanitarian service, would you say? Or how are you framing this?
So, you know, in our class, we have to figure out a problem that we want to tackle using everything we've learned, right? And in this project, we've identified that in this region, there's a need to deliver supplies, medical or whatever it may be, to outer islands that don't have access to it regularly. You know, sometimes they have to wait a week or so before these medical supplies come in. And they have to wait for a boat to fill up and take it over there. And, you know, in working with our professor Charlie, we wanted to try out drones and see how that can fit into the picture, because we know like it's supposed to be able to do this, but we haven't tested it for something this far.
Exactly. And you know, like any MBA student knows that, you know, if you're worth your weight in gold, you know that you pick the right tool to solve the right problem. And I would say you've got the very best person teaching you right now, because Charlie, I mean, I know you've worn many hats over the years. You know, you're a lifelong U.S. Marine. You've served on the Rotary Club here. Community service is part of what you do. I would say your unofficial title, though, is drone dude.
Right. And
you're very familiar, probably the island expert when it comes to this technology.
And I do have to say that I left it up to the class to choose which direction we were going to go with the project, because it wasn't necessarily going to be drones, but a little bit of a little push, a little nudge on seeing if the drone technology could be something that we could look at, I think sort of made sense. But I think you pretty much talked about the fact that this is the culminating point where they're going to put all the classes and everything they've learned into one business model, because this is actually going to be a proof of concept. So if they were to start a business, could this be a viable option? So you have data collection, you have budgets, you're putting pretty much everything together to make sure that you can stand up the company and make sense as far as doing a business model. So a humanitarian aspect, I said, you know, I think the way we're situated right now, I think it made sense for us to do something practical and meaningful. And I think that that's what the students kind of undertook this. And the more closer we're getting, I think they're kind of sort of feeling the dynamics of what this really represents.
And it's also interesting because we've had, you know, like with our friends in the Air Force.
For our class, for the purpose of this project, we decided to design something simple, something basic, since we are not doctors, we cannot deliver prescription medicine. But what we did was we designed a little healthcare kit with some you know, Tylenol. We surveyed people, and tooth pain is something they deal with a lot. So that's something they have to wait for to go to the dentist and stuff. So we did include something like that in our kit to help relieve pain.
So like a whole case of Anbesol or something like that?
And just basic first aid things, thermometer, a pulse oximeter, things that they wouldn't have on the regular that they maybe, you know, need in their day-to-day things.
Okay, now I gotta ask, right? When I was going through my MBA program many moons ago, because I'm old as dirt at this point, right? We were actually taught and instructed that you take the pessimist view, right? The glass is half empty and you think, how can this go wrong? And then you develop your solution about that. Is that the way, Charlie, that you're instructing your students, or you know, and what are some of the problems, Hazel, that you've seen bubbling up, and then how do you address those?
Oh my gosh, so many. So in our class,
but that's a good thing, because you're leaving no stone unturned.
Risk assessment. I mean, that's the thing that we've been working on a lot.
And it's a lot of it's pretty intense in the class, I feel, and so do my classmates feel too. It's like, here's our plan, and then Charlie's like, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? And we're like, okay,
but every day,
we gotta think.
Real life stuff, right? Even I'm sure you go through, like, what happens if the lights go out? What happens if the camera doesn't work? I mean, but you have to think really fast.
Yeah.
So one of the focus that we're trying to do is sometimes you have to be able to be flexible and nimble in everyday business environment. So, but be able to think ahead as far as what the different options. So we have a plan A, plan B, and I try to keep my distance from the project managers, because even though I may know some of the answers, they need to be the ones that are going to have to figure this out.
Well, there's the next interesting question. How do you assess, you know, these hopefully unique ideas that they're coming up with and everything like that, and how do you kind of, like, you know, give them guidance when appropriate?
So when they created the business plan and they did the mission planning, that's one of the things that we're going to base off. The mission that you wrote, does it correlate to the mission that we actually accomplished? So the task is to accomplish the mission, but in between, did we take into account the budget? Did we use the right amount of funding? Did we take into account the data? Did we have the right medicine that we wanted to deliver? Because part of the task, the class was divided into separate teams: marketing, development, operations, budget and finance, and so forth. So did everybody kind of hone in and get it right into a certain perspective as far as the overall concept? Because once we come back from Pohnpei, we'll really dive deep. We'll do a after action report, and that's really where the fun really starts.
There you go, because I was going to say, you know, the biggest room in the world is room for improvement, and of course you want to self-assess and everything, but you hit on it too, Charlie. This is, Hazel, this is not just theoretical projects and everything like that. You guys are actually physically going out there, and you're really going to launch this drone and really see it in action. So how are you looking forward to seeing your strategy, you know, be put into, you know, as a actual action item?
It's exciting. Like I said, it's the first time we've done something like this.
You also get a trip to Pohnpei, which isn't bad.
You know, we're excited to see the place, but I think we're all a little nervous, but we're just going to get out there and do it.
What are some of the metrics that you're holding yourself accountable to?
We, of course, want to make sure that this is something that the people of Pohnpei are excited about as well. We're having an event and hoping people come out to see this. So we've invited, you know, our dignitaries and the general public. And we want the media out there to come as well. And then we, of course, want to test. We're really hoping that the drones are going to make it. There's weather problems that might arise. And
oh gosh, I'm
yeah,
crossing my fingers for you guys.
We're on weather watch every day, but of course, as far as metrics, we just want to see the flight be successful. And then when we get back, we do have meetings with our focus groups to see how we can improve and if there's any other feedback.
I gotta say too, I'm loving the fact that you are actually trying to drive down any possible ambiguity and just saying, like, if something weird comes up, you know, like if a bird should like hit the drone, and you know, pray that it doesn't. And there's some wonderful, beautiful video of you know, some test runs, I'm assuming, Charlie. So tell us what you know, this could possibly be. This
is the actual drone that we'll be taking down to Pohnpei. It's called the VTOL, so vertical takeoff. So it vertically takes off and then turns into a fixed wing.
This is almost like the Harrier jump jet from way back.
Correct.
So former Marine, right?
Yeah. In essence, that's sort of the operation that it does. It can fly for 3.5 hours. So we're going to utilize this one to be able to sustain the island-to-island delivery. So we're super excited. I think this is the first time that it's actually going to be showcased outside of the training that we've been doing, or the you know, because the Bella Wing, it will have a component of operational folks that are going to come down with the cohort to make sure the operation goes right and accordingly. So
okay, so yeah, so they are going to be under very well trained,
correct.
well supervised.
Correct. And just to kind of add, so they have their own matrix, but I have my own matrix from a professor standpoint, because I'm going to measure everything that we said we were going to do. From hitting the mark on the production during that day, did we have the right supplies, just to make sure from an operational standpoint and from a business perspective, did they get it right? So
Hazel, are you guys inviting anybody from UOG's physics department and everything? Because like just looking at a drone and seeing like you're dropping something like that, wind shear, weight, like momentum and everything like that.
No, we didn't contact the physics. We don't have a budget to bring the physics team.
Well, that's part of it. The physics. And
a lot of things that they've been asking a lot of the questions. So operationally, I wanted to make sure that they were asking the questions, and we were going to provide the answers. Obviously, we're going to make sure that it's all safe, and that's number one. Safety is our number one priority. But execution of the mission and the task that they've put together is also part of the great.
Okay, so here's this wonderful flyer. Now, Charlie, I got to tell you, I'm all in with this. I'm super excited because, again, when I was going through my MBA like 25 years ago, right, it was all theory. We took a use case that already happened, and we're asked to come up with a strategy, come up with a different result. You guys are actually breaking new ground and coming up with something that's never been done before. So I'm totally in. Are we able to follow your progress and that of your students?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How can we do so? Is there like a social media channel that you guys have set up where we can follow?
Yes, I think part of the project is we're going to create a Facebook page, and I think that's the best way to follow us, because you could potentially watch us live on the demonstration.
Yeah. So we will be doing a live broadcast of the actual drone flight when we get there.
Very nice.
We'll send that over to you so you can tune in.
And I apologize for how fanboying I'm going to be. Like when you guys, I'll be like a woohoo. I'll be the guy who's like blowing up your comments.
Yes. You can also check out the UOG website, because they will be featuring us on student stories as well.
Excellent.
They'll be following the project, and we will have a capstone presentation at the end of the term to present it to the public.
Okay, so Hazel, best of luck to you. And Charlie, fantastic program that you're running right there. And this is just the first of many, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, keep us posted. And please keep us posted, because we will be right back with more Hotspot right after this.
Let's eat, y'all, let's eat, y'all, let's see if you can keep up with the beat, y'all. Take a seat, y'all, time to feast, y'all. Then let's see what you can really do for me, y'all. Crab legs, duck eggs, bon appetit, y'all. And another round of drinks, can't even speak, though. Can't keep my eyes off this precious cheese, and I thought I saw a wink, was that for me, y'all. RSVP, are you gonna be there with me? RSVP,
Local Music Mashup. For the first 3 Thursdays of every month, sit back, relax, and vibe out as we showcase Guam's local talent through their video submissions. Tune in for Local Music Mashup on KUAM TV8 at 6:30 p.m. and TV11 at 7:30 p.m. Or catch it on KUAM digital platforms. You're not going to want to miss this.
Local Music Mashup is brought to you by Burger King. You rule.
We're keeping you in the know with everything health and wellness every week on Health Check during KUAM News Hotspot. Stay up to date with the latest health news. Learn body and soul. Watch Health Check Tuesdays on KUAM News Hotspot at 11 a.m. on KUAM TV8 and streaming on our digital platforms. Health Check is presented to you by the Medical City.
LFG! A monthly love letter to all the amazing things happening on this island we call home.
From adventures to hidden treasures,
to the familiar things we know and love. Love for Guam. It's your monthly ticket to the best Guam has to offer.
So, LFG.
Watch LFG on the last Thursday of every month.
Love for Guam is brought to you by Taco Bell, Live Moss, and Pepsi. That's what I like.
KUAM News, winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Culture Club.
As my former colleague Sonia Artero used to say, welcome back. And special shout out to all of you who are streaming us right now on Peacock Live. Good to see each and every one of you guys. Man, we appreciate it. All right. Time for News Bites, shall we? So Mike and Daniel in the back, the best in the business, are going to show these wonderful graphics. And we want to tell you that the Autism Community Together, ACT, our very, very good friends, will host their annual 2K, 5K run walk for autism on Sunday, the 2nd of April at 4 in the afternoon. Oh, it's an afternoon 5K. These are fun. Courses start and end at Chamorro Village Huts downtown in Naganes, so that's a straight shot. You can register in person from March 27th through the 30th. That's the day, from 2 to 8 in the afternoon at Micronesia Mall Center Court. $15 per person or $50. Save money. That's important these days. For a group of 4, you can also register on race day for only $20. On April the 1st, also happening in the 4th month of the year, April Fool's Day, it's the opening of artist Tara Sood's exhibit at the Lee's Regis Art Gallery on the 2nd floor of Tumon Sands Plaza. Twirl is a visual treatise on dance and will feature paintings and drawings by this very, very talented artist. Speaking of friends of ours, Westcare Asia Pacific Islands presents Here Comes the Fun Sun Spring Camp. It happens it's for kids from 11 to 14 years old, starting on April the 3rd, from 8:30 in the afternoon to 3:30 at the Santa Rita Sumai Community Center. Pete Anderson is loving this a lot. Represent Santa Rita. All right. For more information, call 671-989-9792, or you can go to westcarepacificislands.com/org/events. And finally, from the healthcare front, our friends over at the Seventh-day Adventist Clinic, shout out to those guys and girls for the very wonderful work that they do, are hosting a free seminar on inflammation. This is something that affects many of us as Guamanians. Happens on March 29th and 30th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Hilton. Attendees will receive a free gift. All right, if you are a fan of The Voice, and there are many of you, there are several here on the staff too. Starting Tuesday, the battle rounds begin. The coaches are going to talk about the playoff pass that's going to be available to them. Here is what you need to know.
Nothing like this has been done before on The Voice, ever.
We have a thing called a playoff pass.
There it is! The playoff pass!
This year, for the first time ever, we have the playoff pass. It gives the artist a chance to skip the knockout round and go directly to the playoffs.
Oh! I'm using the playoff pass! A Voice first!
The playoff pass is the highest honor we've ever given to an artist on The Voice. They both get to stay, but one gets to skip a whole round.
It's amazing to be able to award someone for a breakout performance.
That's my team!
My God!
I'm so excited. I think this playoff pass is going to be huge.
I thought it was an award show level performance.
Was that your arrangement?
This round, every coach has 1 playoff pass and 1 steal.
Now we have 2 steals! The 2 new coaches use their one and only steal!
I'm not even in it.
The playoff pass overrides the steals, so I think this is going to be a game changer.
Give it up for our coaches!
We've had this in the past where we coaches pair people that are both amazing, and all of us coaches are like, oh my God, that was like a finale performance. That deserves to be recognized.
What's going to force me to use the playoff pass is seeing what duet works the best and what 2 people stand out in their individual performances and as a collective.
Wow.
Come on!
I just want all my artists to step it up so nobody goes home.
That was insane. Lakey boy, one hell of a choice to make here.
Language now.
This is good timing. It's incredible that the first season I'm here, it's the first time The Voice have used the playoff pass. It's going to be interesting.
All right, real quick. Love the judges this season. Wait, Marie's back there, right? What is the thing with the 3 on Chance the Rapper's hat? Well, if you want to know, you got to watch The Voice, so make sure to tune in because that is coming up right here on KUAM at TV8. All right, still to come in the hot spot, we give you a recap of the big K-pop dance competition held in Tamuning at GPO. That is coming up next. Don't move.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Buenos Zenhafides. As you all know, our islands had a very successful year, and I'd love to hear about all of the progress we've made. Skylar, why don't we start with you?
We've helped over 1,200 Guam kids and their families pay for childcare.
And that's over $5.5 million in childcare costs so far. Over 130 after-school and community care programs have received grant funding for programs like swimming.
And cycling.
And soccer. And jiu-jitsu.
We've also graduated 3 cohorts.
And our program
and certified over 75 relative care providers.
Hi kids, I just want to say congratulations on all your successes this past year.
Thank you, Governor Lou. We couldn't have done it without you.
Keep up the great work.
He's ready for recess.
This ad is paid for with funds administered by the Department of Public Health and Social Services.
The most tempting part of your week is guaranteed to be the Subway and Chili's lunchbox hours. Catch it Mondays through Fridays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Breeze 93.9 FM as we bring you the greatest hits of your lifetime from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. So grab yourself a mouth-watering Subway Series Select sandwich or something sizzling and flavorful from Chili's. This lunchbox hour is brought to you by Subway, Eat Fresh, and Chili's, where more life and great value happen here.
Join us in saluting those making strides and serving in our armed forces every Tuesday on the KUAM News Instagram account. These weekly posts round up profiles of Guamanians receiving accolades in the armed forces, those stationed on Guam making a difference in our community, and veterans being recognized for their service. Presented by Future Smiles Orthodontics. Build a brighter future with a brighter smile.
Watch Mariana's artists, activists, and visionaries and their quest to protect, preserve, and promote Archimoto culture on the Culture Club, a weekly feature on KUAM News platform and the KUAM News Weekend Edition.
Culture Club, brought to you by Hanum, the freshest bottled water made in Guam.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam On Demand.
Okay, everybody, not going to stop beating this drum today. Shout out to all of you who are watching us on Peacock right now. If you are, send us a note. DM me. Let me know that you're watching the hotspot on Peacock. Take KUAM TV wherever you are. If you have a device, if you're in line at the bank, if you're kicking back on the couch, if you're at work, if you're at school, I'm not going to narc on you. Sign up for Peacock. It's less than $10. You get amazing NBC programming plus us. Like really, like us. You can take us with you. You can share with your friends. It's an amazing experience. Make sure to check out Peacock. Hit the links on our website and you can find out how to sign up and let us know. Speaking of DMs, please nobody DM and don't spoil Succession for me. I've been waiting for this for almost like 2 years. Please. I don't ask you guys for much, but I just want to find out what's happening on Succession tonight. So thank you for that. And we'll talk about it later. All right. Now, on to things that happened this past weekend. All smiles it was at the GPO food court over in Tamuning. As you might remember, last week, our friends Ina Lee and Elizabeth Cruz were, and there is the dance performance right there. They were talking about this wonderful K-pop dance competition that was being held, sponsored by, of course, the Rotary Club of Northern Guam. Individuals or teams, any student, middle school through high school age, was a challenge to come out and do their best rendition, but it had to be a K-pop themed song. Very, very up-tempo, very catchy, very infectious. And you see here, there's a troupe of very young Guamanians really wowing the crowd over there at the food court at GPO. I was at the food court yesterday. I was at Charlie's. Nice people. And we had Charlie Hermosa here. It was Charlie's all around. Cash prizes went to the first place team. First place got $1,000, as you see there on the graphic. Second and third place also got cash prizes as well. Amazing. So congratulations to all of you who came out, who performed. I do not envy the judges. They had quite the task in front of them. So really, really wonderful job. I'm going to stop talking because I want to let you guys watch this amazing performance. Here we go. That was perfect with a capital P. Congratulations to all of you who entered. Really, really entertaining. You know what also begins with P? Peacock. I told you I was going to keep talking about that. So make sure to sign up for Peacock. Stream us any time of day, anywhere you are, on any device, and you can take us with you. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Speaking of taking things, remember, don't spoil Succession. We'll be back right after this.
The wait is over, Guam. The all-new state-of-the-art car wash is now open at Cars Plus. Introducing Finish Line Express, open 7 days a week. The all-new cashless drive-through car wash is also the largest car wash on island that can accommodate vehicles such as lifted Jeeps and full-size pickup trucks. Just roll up, pick a wash, insert credit card, or show your EverWash app, and roll through. Plus, power vacuums are available to clean the interior. Show your vehicle some love today at the all-new car wash at Cars Plus in Mighty. Open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week.
Catch KUAM News Hotspot, a multi-platform news program broadcasting and streaming at 11 a.m. on KUAM TV8 Tuesdays through Fridays, with rebroadcasting at 3:30 p.m., as well as live streaming globally on our Facebook Live and YouTube digital platforms. Jason Solis features a blend of local, national, and regional news, plus lifestyle and entertainment features and extended interviews with top newsmakers.
KUAM News Hotspot is brought to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Get the latest updates and breaking news across the region by following KUAM CNMI on Instagram. Regional correspondent Tomas Maglonia brings what you need to know from the Northern Marianas at the palm of your hand. Full stories, daily updates, and snapshots of the beauty across the Marianas. Follow KUAM CNMI now.
The most tempting part of your week is guaranteed to be the Subway and Chili's lunchbox hours. Catch it Mondays through Fridays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Breeze 93.9 FM as we bring you the greatest hits of your lifetime from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. So grab yourself a mouth-watering Subway Series Select sandwich or something sizzling and flavorful from Chili's. This lunchbox hour is brought to you by Subway. Eat fresh. And Chili's, where more life and great value happen here.
As my good friend says, that's it, Pants It. We are out of time. We'll see you tomorrow.